What's going on, guys? MariK here, back with another Dragon Ball Super video. It is Friday once again, and Bandai has revealed the red cards of the World Martial Arts Tournament set. Now, this color is a bit different than the other two colors in the set so far, as it's not as linear as the green and yellow, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. A lot of the cards don't really specify that you have to be playing a World Tournament leader or archetype. Let's go ahead and see what I'm talking about. First up, we have our leader, the return of the champion of the world, Hercule himself. This time he has 5,000 attack power instead of 1,000. His activate battle is pretty nifty. It says during this card's battle, if there are cards in your combo area, draw one card and negate this skill for the duration of the battle. Now, since it's only activate battle and it's not during your turn, you can also activate this during your opponent's turn, so you can combo to fuel your drop zone for your overrealm and draw cards and possibly prevent yourself from taking any damage depending on what you comboed. Pretty nifty. His awaken is also a bit different. When life is at 4 or less, you draw 3 cards instead of 2. That is pretty substantial in a game that is heavily reliant on card advantage, especially with a leader like this where you're going to be comboing a lot to avoid taking damage. When he awakens, he becomes Bundle of Confidence Hercule. This time he's got 10,000 power, so it's a little bit more manageable to avoid taking damage. When he attacks, draw a card, and then he's got the same activate battle. During this card's battle, if there are any cards in your combo area, draw a card and negate the skill for the duration of the battle. And it is too early. I feel stupid. I just realized that his activate battle on both sides is just for the duration of the battle. So you can use this activate battle to combo cards every time he attacks, which is obviously only going to be once, and every time he is attacked. So you can keep comboing, keep drawing. If you are not overwhelming at least every turn with this deck, it's going to be wild, especially with as aggressive as the meta is right now. So you've got all these 1-drops that are coming in to swing it at Hercule, and as long as you keep comboing, you're going to keep drawing and replacing those cards in your hand. That's pretty wild. It's also equally as wild that we got a second Hercule leader before we get a Krillin or a Yamcha leader or anything like that that people have been wanting. So this might be a kick in the teeth to some of you guys, but I know some people who will really appreciate having a second Hercule leader, especially one with the effects like this. Skipping number 2, we have number 3, Heroic Duo Son Gohan. He's a 2-cost 10,000 power. This is when you play this card, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with 10,000 or less power and KO it. So pretty much he's going to come into play and he's going to blow something up. And especially if you play him on turn 2, there's absolutely zero chance that you're not going to hit something unless for whatever reason it has barrier. So any of those 1-drop crits or anything like that that are coming in to just hits you for massive damage, this Gohan's going to come in and just murk it for free. After that, he just becomes a 10k vanilla, but you can also use him with the 1-drop Videl that is in this set, and you can also use him with the Videl blocker that we got in Union Force. On to number 4, we have Tiny Rivals Son Goten. I believe we went over the Goten and the Trunks combo in our original spoiler video, but he's a 3-cost 15,000 power with barrier, and if Tiny Rivals Trunks is in play in your battle area, this card gains plus 5,000 power and double strike. So and that's permanent too. So he is permanently at 20,000. So if your opponent attacks, he keeps, he's got that 5,000 boost. So he's at 20,000 right away while they're attacking him. It's pretty cool, especially with the Trunks' ability as well, although I feel like the Trunks is a bit better, just because Double Strike right now is really dangerous on its own, because you're giving your opponent 2 cards which can completely turn the game around in their favor, and that's not generally something that you want to do right now, unless you are pushing for game, but this Goten is not strong enough to do that, so you're not going to be able to take advantage of it that way. Skipping number 5, we're on to number 6, Vegeta, Power Misused. He's our super combo for red, and when you combo with him, you lead a card's World Tournament, 5 or less life, draw a card, 10,000 power. I still don't see why they are giving us a super combo for each color when they don't have a color specification. They just require World Tournament, so I don't know what the point is in having all these different super combos. Having a Vegeta super combo is pretty dope, but we can't even use it for the only deck that actually cares, which would be the red Vegito leader. So, again, I don't really see the point in it other than, you know, the fact of having the archetype's character flavor. It wouldn't make a whole lot of sense to have a Vegeta in the Dragon Ball tournament sagas, but other than that, it just, I don't know, it just doesn't make much sense to me as to why they are giving us all these super combos that are exactly the same. Then we have Goten's battle companion, Tiny Rival's Trunks. He's also a 3-cost 15,000 with critical, and if Tiny Rival's son Goten is in play in your battle area, he gains plus 5,000 and double strike. So while the Goten has barrier to keep him on the board, the Trunks is the one you want to attack with for the 20k double strike crit. That's a lot of damage before combos, and double strike crit is just disgusting. So your opponent is definitely going to make sure that they do not want to take this damage. And it also gives you more Trunks and Goten, more good Trunks and Gotens to play Gotenks. I don't really think the Hercule leader benefits the Gotenks archetype in any way, and nor does it benefit the Hercule leader either. But having these extra red Trunks and Goten really do help out, and they're actually really good battle cards on their own. Up next, we have by far the most interesting card in the set, Mighty Mask Powers Combined. He's also a super combo. Here's the kicker. His ability says, when you combo with this card, if your leader card is red and your life is 4 or less, you may choose one card in your hand and place it in the drop area. If you do so, this card gains 10,000 power for the duration of the turn. Then choose up to 1 red Son Goten and 1 red Trunks, each with 15,000 or less power, and add them to your hand and shuffle your deck. So, it almost comes off like Bandai forgot they made Gotenks green, and like they're thinking they made the leader red, because first we had the Gotenks combo card from the Ultimate box that says when you combo with him, if your leader's red and you're 4 or less in hand, then you can play a free ghost token. Makes sense, right? This says if your leader is red, you can combo with it, add a Goten and Trunks to your hand from your deck. What would you be doing with those cards? Sure, you could play them together, they're good battle cards, but you could also use them to make Gotenks. So again, this would be a perfect super combo for the Gotenks leader, which either means one of two things. Either Bandai, as much as I love what they're doing with the game, really just didn't pay attention, or they have Akira Toriyama's memory problems, and they forgot that Gotenks leader is green, or this means that we are getting a second Gotenks leader in an upcoming set, whether it be in the next draft box or whether it be in set 5, something like that. We could be getting a red Gotenks leader that we could use that Super Ghost combo card with, that we could use this Mighty Mask with. That would be pretty dope, and I would love to see more Gotenks support like this. In fact, I will probably spend a portion of my day today trying to figure out a Gotenks build using the new red Goten and Trunks and using this Mighty Mask. I'm not sure which red leader would be best to use for it, just because none of them really suit Gotenks' playstyle. Quite the contrary, actually. Pan might be a good one, just because every time you play a Goten, a Trunks, or any of the Gotenks, it's going to get bumped up to 20,000 power and get you that extra draw. So Pan might be a really good one. I'm not really sure who else. I'll definitely be working on that today, and I will maybe let you guys know. Maybe I'll comment it in the comment section of this video, and I'll pin it to the top so everybody can see it. Then we have one of my favorite combinations in this set, Secret Treaty Android 18. She's a 2-cost 10,000 power. And when this card is switched from active mode to rest mode with Secret Treaty Hercule skill, draw 1 card. So nothing too grand. It does upset me slightly that we finally get an Android 18 again, and she's red. I do not want to play red-green androids. There's no need to do so, unfortunately. So while we keep getting more Android 17s, we got the Android 17 from the Tournament of Power that can be played in androids. We got the Android 17 in the Ultimate box that can be played with androids. The last 2 18s we have gotten being the one in the Tournament of Power set, can only be played with a Tournament of Power leader. And then this one is red, and you're not going to want to play it in androids, because having androids still be a monocolored deck is just too fantastic. However, I will say that I do absolutely love the art on this card. The Hercule that goes along with it is fantastic as well, and the foiling they have for these rares, based on the images of the actual cards that I have seen, looks really fucking fantastic. Then for the other half of the Secret Negotiation, we have Secret Treaty Hercule. He's a 1-cost 5,000 power with the permanent that says you can combo with this card from your battle area even when it is in rest mode. His activate main says choose this card in one world tournament in your battle area and switch them to rest mode, draw 1 card. So essentially it's a draw 2 engine, kind of like the Master Roshi and Master Crane combo. I believe it was in yellow that you could run together. Not really a whole lot else to this card or the combo. Like, it's great early on for draw power, but once you get to turn 3, you're probably not going to play these cards at all, and they also have to survive long enough to get their abilities. So you have to play the Hercule turn 1, hope it doesn't get KO'd by an effect, and then play the 18 turn 2, switch them both and get the draw 2. But after that, they're probably going to get KO'd, and I mean, there are going to be better cards to play on turn 3 and 4. So, while the art is fantastic, the foiling's fantastic, they're only going to be good early on in the game. Then we have Hercule's daughter, Heroic Duo Videl. She's a 1-cost 1,000 with counterattack. And her permanent says, if Heroic Duo's son Gohan is in play in your battle area, this card gains 9,000 power. So essentially she's a somewhat slightly better Master Roshi from Tournament of Power. You can play her to negate an attack, she comes to the board, and then turn 2 you drop that Gohan, KO something on their side, and then you have the now 10,000 Videl and 10,000 Gohan. Again, they're only going to be vanilla cards though, so not anything too spectacular, but hopefully with some of these super rares and more of the cards that are revealed in this set, we will find extra ways to abuse them. This also gives us, extra Videls that we can play to go along with the Gohans, and we have enough red Gohan adolescents to pretty much build an entire deck based around just this couple alone. So it'll be really cool to see what we and other people can come up with. Up next, we have Hidden Power, Supreme Kai. He's a 2-cost, 15,000 power. When you combo with this card, choose up to one of your attacking cards. It gains double strike for the duration of the battle. So it's kind of interesting. We already have a card just like this in Furthering Destruction Champa. And since they both give 10,000 power, they both cost 1 to combo. This essentially gives us an additional 4 Champas. So now we have 8 total 1-cost combo cards that give double strike. That's going to be really dangerous, considering we already have all these crit battle cards running around that are low cost, including the new Gohan and the new Trunks. So there's going to be a lot of abuse with this card in Furthering Destruction Champa. We already had people running them to go with those cards to begin with, but now that we have a total of 8, and the chances to see them are going to be a lot higher, I think the chances that we'll see people running them are going to be a lot higher as well. Speaking of cards to abuse, some red crit cards, we have Dark Duo Bobbidi. He's a 3-cost 5,000 with Barrier. When you play this card, if your leader card is red, choose up to one of your red battle cards with 15,000 or more power and switch it to active mode. So one way this could be abused would be with the GT engine, because you've got the 15k Trunks and the 15k Goku that have crit, so you can attack with them. And then if you can get this Bobbidi out, you can switch them back to active mode and attack with them again. That's pretty gross, considering he has no restrictions whatsoever except that your leader has to be red. So use it with Pan. That's going to be pretty gross in and of itself. You could also use it to switch some of the new Deborah cards, as well as the existing Deborah cards we have, to active mode to allow them to attack again. Some of the cards in this set seem to imply that they do exist to support the old Bobbidi leader and the old Bobbidi archetype, and we'll get to how that is in a minute. Up next, we have Bobbidi's loyal henchman, Dark Duo Deborah. He's a 4-cost 20,000 with the permanent. If Dark Duo Bobbidi is in play in your battle area, this card gains Barrier, so they would both have Barrier. When you play this card, choose up to 2 cards in your opponent's hand and send them to their warp. So essentially like foreseeing hit, except he doesn't see shit. When this card leaves the battle area, your opponent adds all cards sent to the warp with this card's skill to their hand. So, unlike other cards that say send these cards to your warp or whatever, these cards are going to have to be kept kind of separate so that both players can be aware of which cards were sent. Now, I don't know if you can send cards to the warp and leave them face down so your opponent can't see them. I would believe they have to be face up since the warp is also a public area, so the knowledge should be available to both players. So you should be able to see what they are, but still in the case that this ability is activated, they should still be kept separate. In my personal opinion, that's what I would do, and that's kind of what I would expect my opponents to do as well. Still a really good card, though, to be able to rip 2 cards out of the hand. And then he's a 20k with barrier, and he's going to be able to come in, do some damage, and if you run any of the other Deborah cards, he's just going to look pretty alongside all of them. Now here's where things get really interesting. We have Tainted, Power, Spopovich, and Yamu. It's a 3-cost 15,000 that says when you play this card, choose up to 1 card in your battle area and place up to 5 cards from the top of your deck under the chosen card. What archetype does that benefit? Not this one, that's for sure. It benefits the old Bobbidi archetype with the sealed ball and the Majin Buu inside. Now what's really cool is it says choose up to 1 card, or it says place up to 5 cards from the top of your deck. So if you only need, 1, 2, 3 of them, you can place that many so you don't have to needlessly put cards under it for no reason. And then bam, you've got the Majin Buu's ball that pops, the Buu that comes out, deals the damage, has the double strike. I think it's really cool that you can use these cards with that archetype, because I never really got a chance to play that archetype. Like, Buu was cool and all, but the way the sealed ball effect worked is it was really too slow. One of my teammates tried it. It was the first deck that he tried when he got into the game, and it worked alright, but he realized that there was just so many better ways that you could play the game, and the deck was just too slow. Bobbidi on his own just didn't really do a whole lot and wasn't a great leader to begin with. Then we have the first card for Bobbidi's henchman, Pui Pui, the Magician's Lackey. He's a 2-cost 15,000 with crit. It seems like all of the colors have a 2-cost crit attacker, which is nice, I suppose, to give decks a bit of variety. However, it's just another card that could be abused with the GT engine, considering you got the 1-drop crit, you got the 2-drop crit Trunks, you got the 2-drop crit Goku, and then you got this guy. He doesn't fit the archetype at all, but he's another 2-drop 15k crit guy that's just going to come in and keep making you discard cards or take the damage and lose the card altogether. So he could see some play. I don't think he'll see a whole lot of play as far as World Tournament stuff goes. He could, because he is a 2-drop, and 2-drop 15k crit is not bad, but he doesn't serve the archetype any benefit whatsoever like he would with something stupid like the GT engine. Up next we have Bobbidi's monster, Razor's Edge Yakon. He's a 2-cost 10,000 power. His permanent says this card gains 5,000 power for each card placed under it. So it kind of begs the question, was the Yamu and Spopovich card made to go with this Yakon, or was it actually made to go with the Majin Buu sealed ball like I suggested? While this card does gain 5,000 for each card placed underneath it, that can make him pretty beefy. His auto says when your opponent attacks with one of their cards, place 1 card from the top of your deck under this card. If there are 5 or more cards placed there, place this card in your drop area. So basically it's the same flavor as what happened to Yakon in the anime. Goku just fed it so much energy and so much power that he just exploded. And that's pretty much what this does as well. Considering this does not have double strike or even crit or any other abilities, it seems like a complete waste to place all of your cards under this card. Lastly, we have a new field spell in Bobbidi's Spaceship. Its activate main says switch this card to rest mode, look at 1 card from the top of your deck, choose a Deborah, Pui Pui, or Yakon and add it to your hand. Then place the rest on the bottom of the deck. Now you're only looking at 1 card, so that makes me wonder, what do you really do to see what that 1 card is? Unless you're running, 4 of multiple Deborahs, 4 Pui Pui, 4 Yakon, you can miss quite a lot. So you're going to want a card that lets you put a card back on top of the deck, or at least look at the top card of your deck. Time Patrol Trunks is the best way that I can come up with off the top of my head at this early in the morning to be able to set up a play for Bobbidi's spaceship. So I'm not really sure if it would be worth it since it's reliant on that alone. If there are other cards that let you do that, then maybe it'd be a bit better. But as of right now, it just kind of seems like, I don't know, it seems like a waste of one energy. Like, yeah, you could play it on your first turn, and then it's there that you can use every turn. If you get it, you get an extra card. If you miss, then you are out nothing because it doesn't cost an energy to use, like, oh, I don't know, Planet Namek. So, I don't know. To me, it doesn't seem worth it unless I can come up with better ways, more efficient ways to be able to make sure that you're going to get one of those cards at the top of your deck. I probably wouldn't even play Pui Pui or Yakon. I would probably just play Deborah, and I would probably be building a Bobbidi leader with all this new Bobbidi and Deborah support. Alright, well that's going to do it for the red cards in the World Martial Arts Tournament set. We got some really cool stuff coming out. We got some Gotenks support that is in this set via that new super combo and the new Goten and the new Trunks. Hopefully I am right and we are getting a new red Gotenks leader. It would be really sad if they did just forget that Gotenks was green and they thought he was red this whole time and just made these cards for nothing. That would be pretty sad in my opinion. Granted, you could still use the stuff with Pan and it wouldn't be too bad. However, you are not using that ghost token Gotenks card with Pan. There's no way you're going to get your hand down that low with as much draw power as the deck has. Same thing with the Bobbidi and the Deborah, the Yamu and Spopovich cards. They would work really well in the Bobbidi leader deck with the sealed ball. So that might be something that I look into. You guys can look into it as well. See if we can come up with something crazy together and bring back an old leader. Not so much because I like Bobbidi, not so much because I want to see that leader or that deck thrive, but just because I like seeing old archetypes get new support and be able to stand up against the meta. Maybe not super competitively, but at least to have a chance to be playable in a world where everyone is running Super Saiyan 3 Goku. But if you guys enjoyed this video, if you agree with anything I said, hit that like button down below for us. You know, we appreciate the support. We appreciate all of our subscribers. We are over 1,000 now. Got that partnership back. Really appreciate all the support you guys have given us, especially on all of our Dragon Ball Super videos. We're going to go ahead and get the freak out of here now because it is too damn early for me to do this any longer. We'll see you guys in the next video.